Is Terence Crawford really about to pull off the most astonishing upset in modern boxing? Many skeptics have already waved off his chances, insisting that no one smaller could possibly dethrone the mighty Canelo Alvarez. Yet the whispers persist. Crawford is different. He's a fighter who thrives when the stakes are at their highest, and his recent performances have launched him into rarefied air. Despite the doubts, a wave of fans is growing ever louder, convinced that if anyone can take down the Mexican superstar, it's the deceptively calm champion from Omaha, Nebraska. In this video, we're going deep into every detail behind this potential mega fight. Why people doubt Crawford, why some believe Canelo is ripe for a new challenge, and how these two very different athletes could clash in a bout that either cements a legend or crowns a new king. This isn't your typical boxer versus boxer breakdown. It's a look into the mindset, the rumors, and the undisclosed truths swirling around both men. By the end, you'll have a clear picture of how this showdown might unfold, and you might just change your mind about who walks away victorious. Terence "Bud" Crawford's rise to the pinnacle of boxing is a study in determination and grit. From humble beginnings in Omaha, his story wasn't packaged and branded by a glitzy promoter. Instead, he fought anyone placed in front of him, taking opportunities that often seemed beneath a fighter of his caliber. But that's the Crawford way. He thrives on pressure and seeks out obstacles most champions would sidestep. His earliest days in the sport were marked by a fearless mentality and raw, unpolished skill. Some boxers are groomed for greatness through big-name promotional deals and curated matchups, but Crawford earned his stripes in gritty, under-the-radar fights. The spark that fueled his hunger came from childhood experiences where standing still was never an option. Rumor has it he'd jump at the chance to fight much older, bigger kids just to sharpen his skills and feed a competitive fire that's never really gone out. It's that same unorthodox approach that led him to face heavier opponents in the gym and dabble in wrestling when he was younger, adding layers to his strength and balance. Over time, those hidden skills have become an integral part of his boxing style. Whenever critics claimed his resume was padded or that he lacked a marquee victory, Crawford simply pushed forward. Some even joked that he was moonwalking by himself in certain divisions, unable to find the right dance partner. But the truth is, he's always been ready to prove himself against the best. But how does this low-profile path to glory stack up against a global superstar who's dominated multiple weight classes? It's time to look at Canelo's road and whether age is finally catching up to him. Saul Canelo Alvarez, a name that resonates with fans worldwide. He's been boxing's golden child for over a decade, conquering every division he's stepped into and collecting titles like souvenirs. At one point, many saw him as unbeatable, a relentless power puncher with a granite chin, slick head movement, and the ability to end fights with a single shot. But even giants can show cracks. Recently, some have suggested that Canelo might be slowing down. Yes, he's still a top-tier athlete, no question. He dismantled Caleb Plant, broke Billy Joe Saunders' face guard, and handled Jermell Charlo without much difficulty. Yet his unanimous decision loss to Dimitri Bivol provided a moment of doubt. Was it just an off night, or was it a sign that the wear and tear of countless training camps and wars in the ring has begun to weigh him down? Behind the scenes, rumors have also swirled about lingering injuries, particularly hand and knee problems. Though nothing official has confirmed any severe issues, fans have pointed to certain fights where Canelo's output dropped, or he looked a step slower. Some believe it's age, others claim it's a matter of strategy, pacing himself to conserve energy for the later rounds. Regardless, the question looms: is he the same unstoppable force that once towered over multiple weight classes? If there's even a shred of decline, Crawford's timing couldn't be more perfect. But talk is cheap. Canelo remains one of the best closers in the sport, and age alone won't dethrone him. He's heard all the speculation before, from doping accusations that surfaced in the past to criticisms of his pick-and-choose fight approach. Still, no matter how much hype surrounds Canelo, one glaring question remains. Does he truly understand what it means to face a chameleon like Terence Crawford, a fighter who can switch styles at will? If you've followed Crawford's career, you know one thing: The man adjusts like no other. Whether he's fighting a southpaw, an orthodox boxer, a pressure brawler, or a slick counterpuncher, he seems to figure out their rhythm by round 3 or 4. Then he takes over. Look back at his bout against Yuriorkis Gamboa, where he was tested early by Gamboa's speed. Crawford made one subtle shift in stance, found his range, and turned the fight around dramatically. That's the beauty of his style. He can read you in real time. Once he spots a pattern, he flips a switch. He might turn southpaw and land counters that weren't there a moment before. Suddenly, his opponent looks baffled, as if the entire fight dynamic changed in the blink of an eye. That's what happened against Errol Spence Jr. Spence, a formidable champion, found himself systematically dismantled by Crawford's laser-sharp counters and ring IQ. Critics ask if this will matter when he moves up against someone as large and powerful as Canelo. While size is significant, raw power won't guarantee a victory if you can't pin down your opponent. Crawford thrives in forcing the bigger fighter to swing at shadows, then capitalizing on mistakes. The moment you hesitate or overcommit, he slips in a damaging counter. But a jump to 168 is no joke. We've seen many great fighters fail when they dared to climb too many weight classes. Will Bud be the next to fall, or can he replicate the feats of legends who stepped up and triumphed? Moving up multiple divisions is a challenge most boxers would rather avoid. It's not just about adding muscle, it's about carrying speed and power effectively. Crawford has fought comfortably at 140 and 147, even briefly testing the waters at 154. Could he truly hold his own at 168 against a naturally bigger man who's also built like a tank? Detractors say it's a recipe for disaster. One well-placed body shot from Canelo might crumble Crawford, especially when dealing with Canelo's world-class hook to the ribs. Others point out that greats like Roy Jones Jr. and Manny Pacquiao successfully soared above their original divisions, shocking everyone in the process. They leaned on speed, ring IQ, and the element of surprise. Unlike many smaller fighters who jump weight classes, Crawford doesn't rely solely on flash. He's mentally calculating, physically strong from years of wrestling as a youngster, and capable of making in-fight adjustments that keep him a step ahead. His stamina is also legendary. He rarely looks winded, even in high-paced bouts. If he can maintain that engine at 168, the extra weight might not slow him down as much as people fear. One rumor floating around is that Crawford has been testing his body against bigger sparring partners for years. Some say he's done intense gym work with light heavyweights. While anecdotal evidence doesn't win championships, the confidence gained from such experiences could be a game changer. Still, no matter how well Crawford carries the extra pounds, he has to outbox one of the most dangerous counterpunchers in the sport. So, who really holds the advantage in a tactical war? Many observers label Canelo as the ultimate counterpuncher. He has a knack for slipping a jab by mere inches, then ripping a hook to the head or body that lands with bone-rattling force. It's a style that's crushed even slick movers like Billy Joe Saunders and put fear into defensive wizards. But Crawford is no ordinary mover. He combines feints, unpredictable angles, and that eerie calmness that leaves opponents second-guessing. When you pit two brilliant counter-strikers against each other, you get a high-speed chess match. Each man waits for the other to blink. Canelo might try to draw out Crawford's jab, pivot away, then unleash a nuclear counter. Crawford, on the other hand, might bait Canelo by switching stances mid-combination, forcing him to reset his feet before unloading a precise shot down the middle. In a fight this evenly matched, small details can decide everything. So what specifically must each fighter do to tilt the odds in their favor? Canelo's checklist: body attack. History shows that Crawford can be vulnerable to body shots if cornered. Canelo's hallmark is breaking down opponents with thudding hooks to the ribs and liver. A few well-placed shots could sap Crawford's mobility by the mid-rounds. Cut off the ring. Canelo needs to trap Crawford against the ropes, preventing him from circling or switching stances freely. Intelligent pressure rather than reckless chasing is vital. Patience in the pocket. Don't overextend. Crawford excels at making people pay for even minor errors. Canelo must time his counters precisely, picking spots rather than launching wild barrages. Crawford's checklist: stay elusive. Use the full expanse of the ring. Keep Canelo guessing by feinting, circling, and stepping in only when it's safe to land clean shots. Stance switching. Confuse Canelo by mixing up orthodox and southpaw approaches. Each shift in stance is a fresh puzzle for the Mexican to solve. Selective engagement. Crawford can't afford to brawl toe-to-toe for extended stretches. Hit, move, and force Canelo to chase. Once frustration sets in, openings will appear. One thing's certain, neither man can afford a lazy jab or a misplaced hook. The margin for error is razor thin, and each fighter has proven they can stop a fight in its tracks with a perfectly timed counter. Yet, even if the fight plan is crystal clear, the stakes go beyond a simple win or loss. What does this showdown mean for each man's legacy, and why are fans calling it one of the most significant fights in decades? After examining every angle, Crawford's unorthodox journey, Canelo's potential decline, the intricate chess match of counterpunching styles, and the sheer weight of legacy, it's clear this fight is more than just another title match. It could reshape how we view both men for generations to come. The allure of watching Crawford dare to be great at a weight far above his comfort zone is almost as enticing as seeing Canelo stamp his authority once and for all. In the end, there's no definitive answer, at least not until the final bell rings. Will Crawford's razor-sharp reflexes, supreme ring IQ, and fearless mentality overcome the size, power, and experience of the Mexican icon? Or will Canelo remind everyone why he's been the face of boxing for so long, sending Crawford back down in weight with a harsh lesson? That's the beauty of this matchup. Nobody knows for sure. What we do know is that the stakes have never been higher, the storylines have never been richer, and the fans have never been more intrigued. One thing is certain, whoever emerges victorious will have etched their name into the annals of boxing history, stirring debates that will rage on for decades. So now it's your turn to weigh in. Who do you think will claim victory if this colossal super fight happens? Let us know your thoughts and predictions. And stay tuned for more updates on what could become one of the most talked about events in modern boxing. Whether you're siding with Terence "Bud" Crawford or sticking by Saul Canelo Alvarez, there's no denying the magnitude of a clash that could reshape the sport as we know it.